Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Empath Sisters. I'm Bev.
I'm Shelly.
And so last episode we were doing kind of like a Q&A. Shelly had come down to Saskatoon and we were doing a in-person event and it was so much fun just to be around people and have conversation. And I think for our some of our followers, got to hang out with us and see what we're like. So that was a lot of fun. It was nice to answer a lot of those questions. So that was our last episode. And we didn't mention what we were going to talk about in this episode, but we have decided today that we were just going to have a conversation. Shelly and I were just sitting here kind of already conversing, and I was like, you know what? I think let's just have a conversation about what we're just talking about,
hmm
because maybe you'll be able to relate as well. So um, we were just discussing about how we were having a little bit of ascension symptoms, maybe shifting symptoms, that sort of stuff, just on the metaphysical, but into the physical kind of symptom. So, Shelly, yeah, was just telling
Yeah.
me about her dreams in the last week, which I can also relate to. So, yeah, you want to share your dreams with us or kind of what's been
Well,
going on with
yeah,
you?
I just want to say like it's been a weird couple weeks for me
Yeah.
and like Bev just said before this episode started,
Yeah.
I couldn't even hardly talk and like my throat has been super throaty. And so I apologize in advance if I'm
Yes.
like, doing some kind of clearing of my
Throat
throat.
clearing.
Yeah. And yeah. So, like she was saying, like I have been, oh, like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I was saying to Bev earlier, like I have been super tired. Even though I've been going to bed, like for me
Yeah.
earlier, which is like I don't normally go to bed until at least midnight. And
Hmm.
so lately I've been going to bed around 11, which is that's early for me.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty early for you. I would have to say yes.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so I've been tired and so I'll get to bed and of course the same thing always happens as soon as I lay down. I'm just like I'm super tired but yet I'm not sleeping until
Hmm.
midnight. But at least I'm in bed. But
Yeah.
I have been having some strange things happening, like my ear, for example. So lately, it
Hmm.
sounds like I have water in my ear, which I know I don't have water in my ear. I've had this before, like way, way back when I first started, kind of like really going into my spiritual path. And
Yeah.
it literally felt like, when you're in an airplane and that pressure that you get and when you like land and you want it to pop so bad but it won't, it did that for like
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. That's not a good feeling.
It
It's
is
one of the reasons
not.
why I don't like flying is because of that pressure in my ears. I have super sensitive ears, so I don't
Yeah,
like that at
me
all. So I can't
too. And
imagine.
yeah, and so the last like week and a half it's
Yeah.
back. I'm feeling that waterness. It's almost like when I wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
it's like popping and I can feel it. It's almost like water wants to come out and like of course no water comes out.
No.
But the strangest thing is that
Hmm.
not just only that, it's like I feel like I'm getting Morse code. Like but not like as a beep beep beep, but like pressure beep beep beep. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's like I really can't explain it, and I know that it's because it's how do I explain this? So it's like I'm getting it, and then it
Hmm.
stops, and then I'm
Yeah.
good for like a while, and then it'll come back.
Yeah.
And I know they're trying to communicate with me, and like me, like we've talked about this before, where it's just
Yeah.
like I have no idea what they're trying to tell me. So I do apologize to my team, but yeah, I know that I'm going through some stuff, and same with dreams. Like I have had
Yeah.
some pretty weird dreams.
Yeah.
Example, last night I had a dream. So when I say I'm dreaming, like I legit wake up because I have to take some medication at 6:30 in the morning. And so sometimes I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming, and then I either wake up on my own or I'm getting woken up by my alarm to take medication. And when
Yeah.
I do that, I remember my dream, but then I go
Hmm.
back to sleep because I sometimes I'm like 6:30 is really early for me to get up, and so I
Yeah.
fall
Who
asleep,
wants to get up that early? I
right?
go back to bed too.
Yeah, so I usually just pop my pills in, go back to sleep. And so when I go back to
Yeah.
sleep, I dream again. And so
Right.
I get basically two dreams, if you want to call it that, each day.
Hmm.
Like I dream every single day. I know Bev does
Yeah.
too. And but for the most part, I dream twice a night, day, whatever you want to call it. And so I have a hard time
Yeah.
remembering my first one to my second one, and they like I kind of make try to like put them together, but I know that they don't go together. So,
Right.
but yeah, I had a dream that I know my dad was like our dad was in my dream
Hmm.
last night, and he was just hanging around.
Yeah.
He was just in my dream, kind of like being with me. It was yeah, like I said, it's weird, and I
Was he
know
like an
he
extra? Like
yeah,
in a
like in
movie,
a
when you have
movie.
the extras?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So was he like an extra, or was he like actually like with you doing whatever in your dream?
Well, it felt more like an extra, so he
Yeah.
was just like, he was in my dream with me, but he wasn't with me. He was just sort of like observing, right? And being
Yeah.
in my dream. And
Nice.
yeah, and like I know he probably tried to communicate with me. Again, I am terrible about doing that. When I'm in my dreams, I legit don't look at anybody or talk to anybody
Yeah.
unless I have to. It's like, I don't know, I get blinders on until I realize, oh my God, like they're in my dream. It's like,
After.
yeah. Well, not even after.
Yeah.
Like, I did realize in the dream he was in there, and I know he tried to tell me something, but honestly, I can't remember now because,
Don't know
again,
what.
I woke up
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that was in my first dream.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I can't remember. So I've been I've been having, like, I had a dream about a freaking teacup. Yeah. Like, it was just like,
Just random
yeah,
stuff.
random stuff. And I know they
Hmm.
mean something, but like I said, I
Yeah.
can't remember. And I've been very terrible about not recording them, and I should be, because they're
Right.
probably something very important that I do need to know. And, or like maybe not like necessarily right now, but like for eventually
Right.
down the road, right?
For sure.
So,
Well, you've got a lot of change coming up in your world. So,
mhm,
it doesn't surprise me that there would probably be a lot of communication that's happening that they're just like, hello, trying to talk to you through your dreams. Because that's, of course, an easy way for them to be able to pass a lot of messages on to us, is because we're the most relaxed and open, and
right.
kind of at that level to be able to receive those messages. So a lot of communicating does happen between you and your team when you are sleeping. So
Yeah.
again, this would be why I would say, like, are you writing them down? You should be recording them, because there's some messages in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, whatever, we're human too. That's what I always say, we're human and we don't always do the things, so can't be
Right.
hard on yourself. Just let it go, and you
Oh,
can
yeah.
start
Yeah. And I
tomorrow if
mean,
you
like I
want
said to you
to.
earlier, like a word will
Yeah.
come up or a song will
Yeah.
come on, and all of a sudden I'm like, bam, like, oh, I'm sure this was in my dream, like, but
Yeah,
I
like
still don't know
triggers
the
it or
meaning.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like,
So
hello, remember this was in your dream. Why aren't you writing? We have to bring it to you again.
I know, like
That
I
makes
said
sense for
before,
you though, with you and your
exactly.
team. Honestly, it's like, oh, it doesn't surprise me.
I know. I've said this many times. I swear to
Yeah,
God, they're like, oh, we have this one. This one just does not listen to us.
that'll be your whole journey.
Yeah, that's what I need to learn.
Aw, that's okay. It's all
Yeah,
good. It's all good. Yeah,
yeah.
I
So,
I've also had, like, I've also been super tired.
mhm.
I've kind of just taking a couple of days off right now. We have family in town, and so I don't typically take a lot of time off. So I was like, oh yay, I want to do all these things, but my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm just like, I won't do anything. I just want to lay in bed and watch Olympics because the Olympics are on.
Yeah,
So I'm just
I
like,
know.
that I can just do that. But Oh my gosh. And I haven't been going to bed late either. And I've been sleeping in, which that is not normal
Mm-hmm.
for me, like nine
Yeah.
o'clock. And I'm just like, oh, so I feel super groggy. It feels really heavy. Actually, the energy as a collective feels really heavy for me right now. Probably for the last week or two, I guess,
Yeah.
for myself. I don't know if that's kind of been
I,
the same feeling for you
yes, I
too.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Yeah, so
sure.
it's just been tough. And then, yeah, and the throat clearing thing, now it's getting better because, of course, you should know this actually. Every time Shelly and I come to record together and chat, it's like that. Our throats need to clear. We have so much that's sitting in the throat chakra, and it's like, and we make all these horrific sounds, and we just like, what is going on? What is going on? So we sit here like probably a good half hour before we actually record, clearing
Mm-hmm.
our throats. So we're just like, oh my gosh, maybe other people have these symptoms too.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's just talk about it and apologize for it. But the more that we're just kind of talking about it, it clears. So,
Yeah.
that's something I would say. And I do say to my clients too, is like when clients come, of course, I tune into clients. I'm sure you do too. Tune into
Yeah.
your clients prior to them coming.
Yeah.
So it would be like half hour before they come, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, they have a blockage in their throat,
Mm-hmm.
and so they'll come and it'll be like that until I start working with them, and then all of a sudden it just like clears, and then it's gone, and it's so lovely.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just the same for us as also what I was thinking was that kind of like crappy, but it's not. But like you and I being together, and if you're feeling it and I'm feeling it, it's almost like double whammy.
Amplified.
Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling yours, you're feeling mine. So we're just like being choked. We
Yes.
just like need to get talking to like clear it all out. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
because I wasn't too bad. It was a little scratchy. I said, Shelly, when I got here to start recording, and then we were, of course, talking. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's so bad. And I'm like, because I could feel it too. I was like, oh my gosh, mine wasn't that bad until I got here. But anyway, it's feeling a
Yes.
lot better. Yours
Oh,
feels better. Mine
it does
feels
feel a
better.
little bit better. I still have a little bit. I can feel it at the back of my
Yeah,
throat, but
it's tiny. Yeah,
but yeah, it's been bad. Like this morning was very bad for
yeah,
sure. Like I said to Bev, like it probably started an hour before we
yeah,
podcast like started even like talking to each other. I was just
yeah.
so throaty. And like what Bev said, like when we do meet with clients, yes, I do the same thing as her. Like it will start to come. But I have had clients though too where I've given them healing and tried to unblock their throat chakra, but sometimes it just doesn't because they also need to talk, like whatever that
Oh, for
situation
sure.
or whatever. But like I will still feel it, and even when I'm
Yeah,
talking with that client, I'm just like, ugh.
I know.
Oh,
I'll
it's
do that. And they're
so.
like, I'm so sorry. And I'm
Yeah,
like, it's okay. I mean,
I know.
it's
I
just the
just
way
had
it
a
is.
client.
And when you leave, it's gonna go away. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna take it on. It's just for the moment. I
Yes.
do usually in those cases where clients have a blockage in their throat chakra and it doesn't clear, I just basically end up what happens for me is like I'm just taking off like the surface layers.
Yes.
And it's always like I always say, like I've cleared what I can at the surface, but
Mm-hmm.
there's like a lot of deeper
Yeah.
work there for
Yeah.
you need to express, you need to communicate, you need to be
Right.
creative, you need to express. So get on that. But
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
that's on them. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I legit just had a client a few days
mhm.
ago, and that's exactly what happened. She did the same thing. She was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's just, that's just what's happening. And that I'm just showing you, like, this is something that you need to work on. Like, I just, yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
exactly. That's what I always
yeah.
say. It's just a guide and a tool because I know
Mm-hmm.
when I start, so I can tune into clients, but when I start working with them and I place my hands on them,
Mm-hmm.
especially at their feet to kind of ground them before we start working,
Yeah.
it's everything in my body kind of steps aside. I start feeling everything that's going on in their body. And when I explain that to people, they're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for all the things you're already going to feel.
I know.
Oh shoot, I'm just like, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's just a guide and a tool for me to use to navigate and know where I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
and work on. So yeah,
That's right.
it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. But
Yeah.
no, it's so fun. But going back to the throat chakra, I have had in many sessions people who are clearing out the throat chakra, even if the energy as we're working over the throat chakra, clearing it out. It's like when I go and work on it, and then it's like I get the message like I'm done here. Now I need to move. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, I move from head down to the feet. So
Yeah.
crown to root, just moving through, pushing through the body kind of works that direction for me. And so I'll move down to their feet to kind of, for me, it's like pulling it through the body. And as soon as I do that, I'll like cough, which really sucks right now because people don't, or I think with everything
Yeah.
that's going on, the pandemic, it's like coughing is like a big no. But I can't help it. So I get down to the feet and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I have to cough. And it's just because I know energetically they're releasing. It's almost like I always say it's kind of like a cork, in a wine
Yeah.
bottle. It's just like plugged, and then it's just like boom, it just pops, and it's just that's where I kind of get that big cough. But
Oh,
anyway, that's
I
kind of like on the throat shock
I can tell
hearing
you,
it.
I had this one client, and
Yeah.
because of the pandemic, like I had just, went back to work. Like I was able to
Oh
go
yeah.
back to work, and I had a client that came to see me,
Yeah.
and all I could do was cough. Like I could not stop. And she was like, oh my God, do I? She was like, oh my God, do I have COVID? Like because she knows how I
Oh
work.
no.
And I was like, no. I said, I'm so sorry. Like, I go, but no,
Oh.
no, no. It's just your, like, because her throat was so blocked.
So,
Oh,
oh,
it
oh, poor
was,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
It was funny, but not funny because it was just like bad timing. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it was just like, I couldn't help it.
Of
I know what
course.
you mean. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then your throat gets dry, and then you get that tickle in your throat, and then you just can't
Yeah.
stop. And,
I'll be
oh,
like, I'll cough, and then I'm sorry. I'll try to get like 3 words in, cough, another 3 words. Like those ones take a lot longer. I find those
yes.
sessions just because I can't get a lot of talking in.
Yes.
So,
And
but
like,
oh,
yeah, and like what you were saying too, like how like they tell you when you're done in that
mhm.
area and then you move on and stuff like that. I have done that, but I've actually like, maybe I shouldn't maybe say this, but like sometimes I've had where, they're connected, to another chakra. So I'll move over, but
Yeah,
then they'll be like, no, no, no. So, and then I'll start getting that pressure back and then I'll have to go back and stuff like
yeah,
that. So sometimes there's just not enough time even in a session. Like because especially if they're asking for like a chakra balancing, so I like to get all the
yeah, of
chakras in. But yet they're
course.
like, no, like this chakra really needs it. Like I
Don't
could spend
move
all.
on, stay here.
Yes, yeah,
The
yeah,
only one today.
yes.
We need the whole hour for this one
Just
today.
this chakra,
But
yeah, and that
hey, that
sometimes
happens.
happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I trust in whatever they're needing, and that's what they're going to get that
Yes,
day.
yeah.
So
So
clearly that person just needs that one worked on
right, yeah, for
most
sure.
one today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So yeah,
anyway,
throat stuff's been going on.
yeah.
My dreams have been crazy. I know I had a really cool experience. So I think like 2 weeks ago, I was like kind of having like one of those days at work where you're just like you go through your sessions and then I don't know. I felt I like my ego came in that day and was kind of
Oh.
like, I don't know. I think because
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of skeptical people that day. And so it really like
Got
being in their
into
space
you.
and being in their head, I was like, maybe I'm not that good. Like
Yeah.
maybe I can't do this. Like, am I just crazy to make this shit up? I don't know. But so I don't know. And just their reactions, I think too, was kind of like, I don't know. It just made me question. And then it just stuck with me
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the evening. I was working later that night. So by the time I got home, I was kind of like, it was still kind of like weighing on my mind. And I was like, stop it. That's what I did. And then it came back again. I was just about to go to sleep and I was like, I don't know, maybe I was questioning, talking to my team, like, maybe I don't know, like, whatever. And then I was like, no, stop it, whatever. And then I went to sleep. And in my dreams, they do communicate with me, which I do know. I know, I understand what they're trying to get across most of the time. And it was so cool because they gave me this really neat experience. So I ended up being in a house, and my husband was there, family was there. And I don't, it was just kind of like a bungalow style home or whatever. And I remember being in the house, and it seems that I'm always in a building and something is happening on the outside. And so I always have to look out the window. And so I could tell, like, I could see like flashes, and I was like, oh, what? And then I could feel like rumbling, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, is it going to be like an earthquake? Is there a tornado coming? What is going on outside? So I go to the window and I just like opened the curtain to look outside. And all of a sudden the ocean is right there, literally right up to the house. It's just the ocean. And I'm like, what the? Because of course it's something you wouldn't expect to see
No.
as you look outside. And all of a sudden there was like masses of orcas coming, and but they were going, it was like a channel that was flowing underneath the house out through the other side. So it didn't even disturb the upstairs. It didn't like sink, it didn't get destroyed, nothing. It was just like a literal like tunnel channel underneath the home. And that's what was like rumbling, is because there was masses of orcas, dolphins, killer whales, beluga whales, you name it. I'm not even kidding. It was like every one of those was flowing through in groups. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So then I woke up, and I mean, of course I still remember. It's just normal for me. I remember all my dreams, everything I've done, where I've been all the time. So I looked in the spirit animal book, which by the way is awesome. So if anybody ever gets like encounters with animals, like just as you're driving or they show up in your dream or whatever, there are messages there. So I always recommend the spirit animal book. There's one by Stephen something Farmer. That's his name.
I think it's Stephen.
Can't remember the initial.
Something like, I think it's D.
I think he's doctor too. I think it says doctor.
Yeah, I think it does.
Stephen Farmer. Anyway, he's got cards and books, and I love them. They totally speak to me. And so I looked up dolphin. I had to look up orca whale. I had to look up killer whale, beluga, all of them. And they all said the same thing, like, you're gifted, you're this. And it was just like, it was so amazing how they gave it to me in a sense of like, in a big, huge, like, no, stop it. No, it's good. And so, it was just, I don't know, but I just think it's so cool to like put that out there. Then all of a sudden they're just showing you. And I mean, I get those big signs. And by the way, actually, so it happened to me last night. You have a sign too?
Yeah, I do.
So, oh my gosh. Okay. So I don't know if I mentioned this before in any other previous recording, but loonies are a big change in my business, as usual. Yeah. And then like quarters, nickels are signs from my team, dimes from dad. Yeah. And anyway, so I had been asking for something, and then I just kind of put it out there, and I was like, I don't know if it's going to happen, and I'll just whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just like give up on signs right now. I was kind of like feeling like, I'm not going to ask for anything. I don't, whatever. It's just like, when, I don't know, I just felt like really down about it. I was like, I'm not going to ask for anything, and I'm not going to ask for any signs. And the only one I think that I just like kind of in my mind put out there was like, if anything's going to happen, they'll show it to me in a loony anyway, because that's changing my business. And so whatever, I just left it. And then I was like, I'm not going to ask for anything. Anyway, we go for a bike ride last night. So mine and Shelly's nephews are at my house right now. And so we were going for a bike ride to go get some ice cream. So we're biking, whatever. And we stopped at mom's place, picked up another bike for our nephew. And so we're biking along, whatever. We go to this place, we have our ice cream. And as like we're on our way to the ice cream place, all of a sudden Tristan my youngest son just stops on his bike. And, so everybody's just halting, and he's like, a dime. So like where there's this dime on the path. So he picks it up and he sticks it in his little fanny pack and whatever. So and then we go get this ice cream. He thought that was so cool. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, you got a sign. That's so cool. And have our ice cream. The wasps were so bad. So we're like, let's just get out of here. So like we just like bolted, right? We're all afraid to get stuff. So we're biking home. And we took a different way home. We were kind of doing like a roundabout. And so as we're biking home, same thing happened to me. And I was biking and we were just passing the kids' school actually. And I was on the road. I wasn't even on the sidewalk. And I don't even know how it happened, but for some reason I just looked down on the ground at that moment and it was like I saw it ahead of time. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
And I just like did the same thing Tristan did and just like halted on my brakes and I was stopped right over it. And there was a loony on the ground. And I was like,
Cool.
oh my God. I was like, yeah. So it's
That's
like, so I'm very
awesome.
excited because I
Yeah.
do know then there's going to be another change that's coming up. And it was 1988.
Oh,
They even make loonies that old? Like,
yes.
right? I, are you sure? Because I'm
Yes.
pretty sure
Yeah,
we
I
still had
think it
dollar
started in
bills.
eight. No, no, it stopped in 86 or 87.
I should Google it because that,
Well, I can do it right now if you'd like.
no,
Um,
it's all good. It's all good.
okay.
Anyone else can Google it if they really
I'm pretty
care.
sure it was 86 or 87 when we stopped having the dollar bill and had
Oh, cool.
loonies. Yeah, so
Oh,
that's
that's
so
cool.
cool.
I was like,
Well,
yeah.
I've been
What'd you
feeling
get?
this. Well, I've been feeling the same way as you. I legit, even the
Okay.
other day, I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this business. Like, I was so like, yeah, like I was being in the same mindset. And even Dwayne was like, what? You know, what are
What's
you
wrong with
talking
you?
about? Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And I was feeling the same way. Maybe it's because of this, Lionsgate portal. I don't know, but I've been
Yeah.
doing the same thing. I've been feeling very like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And Bev knows now, like I have been lately getting quarters myself.
Yes.
And I asked for, yeah, I asked for some quarters to it more like, so like I'm the same as Bev, like I do get dimes and
Yeah.
a lot of times I get pennies and it's very rare for me to
Hmm.
get pennies.
Me
And
too.
yeah, I
Love
ended up
them.
getting one the other
Oh,
day.
did you?
I did. And
Awesome.
it was very cool, but I'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, so quarters. I've decided like I didn't decide, like I talked to my team and asked them like why am I getting quarters, and if this is towards my business, then I would like to see another quarter. And I literally got like two quarters in like 2 or 3 days back to back. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, so now I know quarters are for my business.
Yeah.
And so then we're in the middle of a change in my life. We are moving, so we are leaving Lethbridge and we are headed up to move to Shore Park. And so we've been
Hmm.
like mad people trying to keep our house clean because we had
Oh,
like a bunch of
that's the
showings.
worst of moving.
Exactly. And I think a lot of
Not
that is why
fun.
I'm tired too, mentally too, because it's just been like, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to. So
Yeah.
I've been really just been tired and down and same thing. So
Yeah.
anyway, I we had this showing that we were going to have yesterday, and
Hmm.
Dwayne vacuumed upstairs for me because I the worst household thing that I could do is vacuum. I really hate vacuuming. So he does the vacuuming for me. So anyway, he vacuumed. And so
Hmm.
anyway, we had to leave the house and
Yeah.
we were gone for quite a while. And so we finally come
Yeah.
back and I went into my walk-in closet and I went to change because that's the first thing I do when I come home. I love to just quickly go change into something more comfortable instead of whatever. And so when I walked in, out of my peripheral, I was like, what is that? Legit, it was like, it was on the path of where Dwayne vacuumed. So I
Yeah.
know that if he would have vacuumed it, if it was there, he would have vacuumed it up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I looked down and there was a penny. And I was like, oh
Nice.
my God. Oh my, a penny? Like, where the hell did this penny come from? So I pick it up.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
American because we, as Canadians,
Nice.
don't have pennies anymore, even though I have a bunch in jar, whatever. I still have lots. But
Yeah.
anyway, so
Me
this was
too.
an American penny, and I tried to look at the year, and it's super like worn.
Warren.
And
Oh, okay.
so from what I can see, it says either 1986 or 1989. So I'm not sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. Look
I
at us getting
know.
the 80s coins.
Right? So then, yeah, so that happened. And then
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday too. And it makes sense now
Yeah.
why I believe now that I'm thinking and we're talking about this because this is how my memory works. Like I
This
am
is
such an air sign.
this is
Like
why
I'm
we
gonna
probably
like I'm
this is
telling
why we
you.
had to talk about it
Yeah.
today.
So
Shelly
this is
needs some
probably why
assistance.
my dad was in the dream because yesterday I was filming outside. Like
Hmm.
I used to have a very big fear of birds, like
Mm-hmm.
uh, petrified
Yes.
of them,
Me
and
too.
I don't anymore. The only part that I do
No.
get scared of birds is like, of course, if anybody, like if it starts to dart at you, of course, who wouldn't move?
Yeah.
You know?
Of
So
course.
anyway, I I was filming all these birds because like I have all these bird feeders and all these like I just love birds now. Yeah,
Yeah.
weird. Anyway, so I have these birds and they're just like everywhere. And these two
Yeah.
pigeons keep coming back to our place. They just keep coming back and forth to our place. And then all of a
Aw.
sudden, I'm just standing there and I don't even, this is the part, of course, that always happens. I'm not recording.
Of course.
And I stood there at my deck fence, like the ledge, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden a yellow finch comes and it sits
Nice.
beside all the other birds, the only one.
Nice.
And I go, oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm like, do you see that? Like Dwayne was on the deck with me. And because I was like, somebody has to be here, to make sure so that they see it
Somebody's got
too.
to witness this.
Yes. And Dwayne was like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. Like, and he was the brightest yellow.
Oh,
Like, you could not even, I
love
couldn't even
it.
explain how bright he was. It was literally like
Yeah.
my tattoo. It was so bright. And he stood
Yes.
there for a little bit and then he flew away and he never came back again. So that made me go,
Nice.
okay, I got
Yeah.
it, so I got it.
Yeah.
But now it makes sense because I always find that when I do see a yellow bird or a finch or whatever, my dad is
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah.
totally
Me
makes
too.
sense why. Now I get it.
Yeah.
So thanks, Dad. Again.
I knew we just need to have a conversation and we're just going to help you
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Bring it all together, full circle. I know
Yeah.
it's like any time that I've done that to my team where I'm like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not believing,
Yeah.
even though there's no possible way that I could. It's like
Yeah.
a empty threat, honestly, It's like those ones you do with your kids where you're like, I'm going to ground you, and then you don't.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I do. Even though I'm sure they know that, but they're just like, no. And they give me signs and they're like, hang in there. You
Yeah.
got your back. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I love that.
And like you
That's
said
sweet.
too about ego, right? Like it just kind of creeps in, like what you were saying, like being skeptic. I do that lots, and
Totally.
that's what I was feeling. And yeah, my nose is itchy. I don't. It's been bugging me the last. I don't know if you've noticed, but anyway, and yeah. So like I have been just same thing, just been like,
Yeah.
and I think it's too like we're moving, and I don't know what's going to happen. Where I'm going and where I'm going to put
Yeah,
my practice
exactly.
and all that stuff. So when I get like that, I get very anxious and then I get into my head and then I get,
Yeah.
which, like you said, like I know it's going to work out and
Of
everything is going to be
course.
fine, but that,
Yeah.
just that
Yeah.
mind
The
goes.
mind loves to play on fear, and it will
Mhm.
just take the smallest thing and it will make it into this big, huge,
Yeah.
awful story. So,
Yes.
yeah, then it comes back to the do use your tools, right? Ground,
Yeah.
spew journal, like kind of like clear the mind, just
Yes.
recenter, that sort of thing. But
Exactly.
yeah, no, it's been really, really strange, I have
Yeah.
to say, the last couple weeks. For sure the last 2 weeks, and then this past week has been like, wow. So
Yeah.
new moon is coming up on Sunday, so
I
I'm pretty
know.
excited about that.
Yes.
I'm going out to the diving center on Sunday, so I'm really excited about
Oh,
that.
cool. Right. Are
Probably
you
gonna
going
do
with
some
your
with
group?
my group. Yeah, yeah, we're
Nice.
gonna go out there. That's part of one of the activities, and then they don't know this, of course, but if yeah, Well, it already have been done by the time
Right.
this gets posted, so
Yes.
this is good. But yeah, it's one of the activities, and we'll do a kind of new moon ritual out there, so that'll be kind of fun, some intention setting and stuff. So I'm
Nice.
looking forward to that, and hopefully just kind of getting some really good energy from that place as well. But
Hmm.
we'll see. Hopefully it'll just shift
Nice.
after that. So that's kind of
Cool.
normal. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Cool.
I think so. Shelly and I were actually chatting prior
Yeah.
to recording this conversation.
Hmm.
And we have decided that for our next episode, we would like to do kind of some like mini reads
Yeah.
for our followers, viewers, listeners. So it will be posted on our next episode,
Yeah.
which will be August 24th,
Right.
is our next one that's going to be uploaded. So, so we are going to make a post, and when you do listen to this, feel free to reach out to us through our Instagram page, Empath Sisters. You can comment on this video. You can email us. We're also going to, I think, add our
Yes.
email as
Yeah.
well.
Hmm.
So we'll add our email as well. And so feel free to reach out if you have, I don't know, if you're looking for guidance in something. We're just looking for like one question per
Yeah.
person, just so to, to kind of keep it fair and so that everybody, or as many people as we can get through, um,
Hmm.
to give them some guidance or support or whatever they're looking for.
Yeah.
So if you have a question and you're looking for guidance or support in, or I don't know, whatever, I'll pull a card or just intuitively channel the message or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah.
we will share them on our next episode. We'll say your name, your first name, and this was your question and your answer. So do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I do. Actually, they just told me just in case you do have the same name as somebody, actually just put your name and the initial of your last name. Just
For
that way
sure.
we can do it that way.
Yeah.
And then what I was going to say is that yeah, it can be just like one question, like Bev said, we
Yeah.
just want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to have their question answered, and
Mhm.
that it can be either, psychically or mediumship. It just all depends
Mhm.
on the question and how we're going
For
to
sure.
read it. Yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So send your burning question to us. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
excited. And it's
Yeah.
free. It doesn't cost anything. It's just
Yes.
free. Just a
Yes.
little like fun, give back.
Yeah.
I don't know, connect. It's
Yeah.
fun.
It is,
So
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, like Bev said, go to our Instagram page. You can definitely DM
Yeah.
us. You don't need to put your question right on that post.
No, for
So
sure.
yeah, especially if it's something sensitive to you, or however. So just definitely
Yeah.
DM us your question there, or you can send your question on the YouTube. This
Page as
episode,
well. Yep.
or I don't know, can you like actually, I'll have to look into it, but I don't know if you
Hmm.
can actually send your questions privately on a YouTube. I'll have to look into that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes.
Our business page links are also on our YouTube too. So you
Right.
can go on there and you can just reach out to us through our contact page on either of our websites as well. So
Yes. Yeah.
um, there's many ways to reach out to us. So
Yeah.
there will be kind of like a time frame. I think we were thinking pretty much up to the 18th or 17th of August. If you
Yes.
can get your question into us by then
Yeah.
it will be on the episode.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
24th. So we're
I'm
very
so
excited
excited.
about that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Um,
So we
so
appreciate you
looking
guys
forward to
all
that.
listening to our
Yeah,
episode today.
of
And
course. We
yeah,
hope
thank
you
you for,
enjoyed it.
yeah, I know what, well, I did. I needed to get some of that
Yeah,
stuff off. So
for
obviously,
sure. Yeah, and comment if you're watching this on YouTube, comment and let us know. Maybe you were having the same symptoms or anything like that, or ask a question if you
yes.
have about something you were experiencing. We'd love to hear from you as well. So
Yes, for sure. Yes. So,
yeah,
yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah.
thank
Thank
you
you.
for tuning in to the Empath Sisters. And we're
Yes,
sending
thank you
you
so
love,
much.
light, and gratitude wherever this may find you. And I
You
hope you
got it.
guys have a great week. Or,
Yes.
yeah,
Couple
hopefully
weeks,
it will be,
summer.
yeah. And like Sunday is the day for that
Yeah,
portal. So
that's
try
right.
to remember to ground yourself. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Take care,
right. Take
everybody.
care,
Thanks for tuning
everybody.
in. Bye.
Bye.